Okay. Hi. Hello. Hello. Sorry, I'm just seeing the chat. Hi, Tasia. Hi, Rio. Welcome. Let's go. Okay, I have to go live on TikTok. Hold on, guys. Okay. Sorry, I have my phone set up sort of. We're kind of crooked on the talk. Okay. Okay, honestly, I ran here. I ran. I was eating dinner up at my mother's and I have to like slow down. And I actually might need to change out of this jacket. So we shall see if I can cool down. Otherwise, no, hold on. We're gonna, oh my gosh. Thanks for the follow. Oh, welcome. My sound is so loud on my end. So sorry. Okay. I'm gonna go best astrologer, literally. It's me. Okay. Hi, TikTok. Don't mind. I'm changing my sweater. Hold on. Here, let me give you guys some music. Hold on. Okay. There we go. I brought a friend. He's not the mayor. No, I lost the election. Okay, so I also rigged the election too. I had people outside of the city vote for me, so whoops. welcome. Oh my gosh, I need a moment. Maybe we all just take a moment together. Meta. Ooh, don't. It's fine. I'm retiring anyways. Not sponsored. I kind of want to post a picture of my fridge in my Discord because it's just filled with electrolyte drinks. Straw? Who was making fun of me? Oh, it was Modover. You have an idea. Okay, I'm ready. Ban. Somebody ban him. Just kidding. I'm retiring. I just tell people that. It's really entertaining. Oh, my cat is vomiting behind me. And it's like I need to clean it up Need to clean up the cat vomit that just got thrown up behind me, because what if I roll my rolly chair into it? So okay, this stream is really not starting off on a great note. So let me get you guys some music again. While you guys can listen to the song that I was crying to the other day. Cool, here you guys go. Anyways, TikTok got to get a little dance from me. Because I can't pause TikTok. I can't like give them, I mean, I could technically like stream from my computer to TikTok. Chaotic. Oh no, yeah, honestly, yeah, yep, that's about it. That's the energy. I was up at my mom's house, and honestly, so here, let me let her. There we go. I was up at my mom's. She made me dinner. It was very nice of her, and we had such a lovely conversation. I'm so lucky to have a great relationship with my mom. And oh wow, thanks Cass. I appreciate it. That was so sweet of you. And there's just, oh man, I just feel really lucky. I was like walking down the hill to come do this, and the fact that like I got to go have dinner made for me by my mother, which is A, amazing, and then B, just like being in nature and where I live, I just have a ton of gratitude right now. Like my life is truly so beautiful, even with the ups and downs, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, as I'm seeing in the chat. Like that's real right now. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it, y'all. Yeah, so we're in it. Vibe check for everybody. Like scale from 1 to 10. Where are we at? I'd say I'm a solid 8 for myself. That is where I'm at. An 8. Yeah. 9? That makes me really happy to hear. I like need to like ground myself for a second, because genuinely just like I feel like I've been going 100 miles per hour since this morning, even though I get the opportunity to have slower mornings. It's really important for me to have my morning rituals and what I do, and so I got the opportunity to do that and sit with myself and start my day, and got to clean all of my space, which is normally a Saturday thing, but we did it today because that's what happened. Yay. Sorry. I'm looking at notifications and all the places. Okay. I can make myself full screen now, put my chat where I need to. First up, pain, because it's an area that's been neglected. That's awesome. Reflecting though, took a journey to your childhood park. I had a lot of childhood and inner child stuff come up this week big time, and that's what I was sharing with my mom actually, and I was crying, and I'm glad I was able to compose myself before I got here. But it was actually really sweet. My mom really has acknowledged the fact that I normally am very separated from my emotions, and I do struggle with like allowing people to see me in my feelings in the present moment, and so letting my mom see me cry was really powerful. But a lot of inner child stuff has been coming up big time. There's quite a bit happening this week astrologically, and I'm really excited for it because if you've seen the title, if you're on Twitch, so those of you who are watching me on TikTok, I'm live on Twitch as well. Ooh, yeah, you also did, Shay? Yeah, it was like... Oh, she ASMR is your username. I'm so sorry. I just read it as Shay. Yeah, suppressed emotions definitely coming up big time. Like, it feels the way that as far as astrologically, and if you've been to my past live streams, and I feel like I've got a good chunk of y'all who are returning, so we're kind of almost doing this active work together and connecting on it. I've reiterated this multiple times the last few weeks, which is the fact that we're in this birth canal, and this full moon is essentially the assignment. It's like the final exam of all of this stuff that we've been working through and working on and processing. And my YouTube video just did go live on this full moon before I started the stream, so afterwards you guys can watch it, which I'm genuinely, that's what I was doing before this, was editing the YouTube video, and I recorded it like at the beginning of this week, and I don't even remember what I had said. So watching the recording, I was like, whoa, this girl, she knows some stuff. Half the time now when I'm doing astrology related content, it's from a whole different space. And that's also the stuff that's been coming through with this portal. So to continue on that thread that I was talking about before this, essentially we're kind of in this like portal. It's like a birth canal is what I've been relating it to. It's like we're just on the threshold of entering something entirely new. So there's some pretty powerful stuff coming. She knows some things sometimes. Gotta give myself a pat on the back for finally stepping in and stepping up to what I love and what I'm amazing at, which is astrology. I've been so hard on myself with that. I used to do the whole comparison game, and realistically, like, I'm not supposed to be like other people with this. I do it the way that I do it. So well, kind of I'm gonna drink some of my drink, but we're gonna go through each day of the week that has a major transit that's happening, and kind of talk about that and get to it. But if I were to condense this week, it's like there's a couple of moments that are like really solidifying what we've been putting into practice, but then there's like the full moon, which we'll talk about. It's a pretty big moment. So also, I want to ask, for those of you who are in my Twitch chat, do you like when I'm sharing my screen and showing you the chart? Is that something that you guys enjoy? The educator in me, the teacher in me, really loves to just kind of explain things and teach things as I go so you understand what I'm doing, but I'm also totally content with just sitting and yapping about things. Yeah, okay, cool. Shay's already like, please give me the visuals. Awesome. Yeah. Astrology is a very visual thing, and it's like the way I've learned it, and I'm really excited because I am building curriculum to teach astrology, so like, so you guys can learn. Okay, let me, oh, I think I wrote something down about the, okay, let's reorganize my screen. Every time I do this, so random context to some of you guys, I still am an educator. I teach video game design classes, and every time I go to share my screen with them, I'm always like, I need another monitor is what it feels like. Okay, let me get this up and here, and let me get out epic pen. Epic pen. Bro, I can't even spell. Okay, so looking at my calendar, my astrology calendar. Yeah, so we just kind of, we're going to talk about Monday. And yeah, there's a couple of some cool transits that are coming up this week. So just kind of like quick run through. On Monday, the 7th, we have Venus and Saturn are conjunct. That means they are next to each other, and literally at the exact same time of that conjunction, Mercury goes direct, which is kind of crazy. Then later on Tuesday evening, Venus will be sextiling Uranus. And then, yeah, our big sort of moment, nothing major on Thursday or Friday, but on Saturday is when we have the full moon, and then literally right after that full moon, Venus goes direct. But like earlier in the day, we have the sun conjunct Chiron, which we'll talk about. So lots of really fun transits. By fun, I mean maybe not super fun, but let me think. It's this one I want. Dope. I love when I remember my different screens that I have. Also, do you guys see my flowers? They're so freaking cute. I got these for myself. Some red flowers. Also, TikTok, I am checking your questions. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. Also, I'm live on Twitch, which is kind of my main platform. So TikTok is just a good spot to get people to come over to Twitch. Okay, so this is Monday. We got my little drawing tools. So Monday the 7th, tomorrow, we have, and it was so funny, I was looking at this earlier today. I was looking at these transits that are coming up, and this one I thought was so interesting because we've got Saturn, right? Saturn is this guy, and then we have Venus. So slowly but surely you guys will start to understand what these symbols mean as I go through them, and as you guys come and visit every Sunday. Hopefully you'll learn as you go. For those of you on TikTok, my Twitch link is linked to my bio. If you want to jump over there, it might be easier because I am sharing my screen and showing the actual chart. So so the teacher in me wanted to be like, so what do we see that's happening here? Do you see any repeated patterns? But I don't want to necessarily like put you guys in the student role, but that's instinctually where I go. They're both at 25 degrees, which means that they're conjunct. And we'll see that Mercury and the North Node are actually conjunct as well. So we're going to talk about Saturn and Venus first. And they are all kind of within a close enough degree range that I'd say that they're all conjunct. So they're working together. To dive deeper on what a conjunction is, it means when a planet is within 0 to 3 degrees of each other. Some people natally, and when I say natally, that means your natural birth chart, so what the sky looked like when you were born, have conjunctions. I have Venus and Jupiter conjunct, and then I also have my moon and Uranus conjunct in my chart, which means they're next to. And when planets are in conjunction, they operate together. It's like they're, oh my gosh, sometimes the visuals I got like, I don't even know what show it is, but it's where they like lean over with their, and like they hit their like fists together and they merge together. But I'm also seeing like Steven Universe, like the gem fusions too. And it's weird because I actually haven't watched all of Steven Universe. So I think it's interesting that that visual came up. But that essentially is like conjunctions. It's like these planets are merging together and they're working together here. So what's interesting is you'll see that Venus here has this little R next to it, which means it's retrograde. That's because Mercury stations direct. Yeah, Steven Universe is really good. I've seen a few episodes of it. I haven't finished the whole series, but I'll get like little clips on TikTok of it, and it's always very wholesome. So the thing that came up when I was looking at this Saturn and Venus conjunct right when Mercury goes direct, it's like this. Sometimes I want to like just go into like this massive like deep dive into what it means, but I want to break it down into layers so that eventually you guys can start to understand what's going on. We have Venus. Venus is our planet of love, of giving and receiving. She's been retrograde, which means looking as though she's been going backwards since the end of February. So lots of reflection, lots of reviewing, especially within relationships, especially within our ego identity versus one love sort of concept. We've got Venus, and then we've got Saturn, which is our planet of discipline, of structure, of routines, of hard work and effort here. Saturn is, I call Saturn daddy. That's the kind of planet he is. He's there to make sure that you get shit done and doesn't care if it's hard. So that's Saturn. And then we have Mercury going direct. So the sort of like Mercury's our communication and like the deals we make and the conversations and contracts that we put ourselves in. So the first thing that came to mind when I was looking at this, Saturn and Venus. Okay, so this is talking about like really deeply looking at our structures within relationships, within like, it's like really truly seeing what foundations we've built relationships on. And Mercury going direct as we're reviewing this is saying it's time to make a new agreement to change this. It's like this, especially because the Venus retrograde's happening. It's like, for me, it was like this massive moment when I was looking at it. I was like, whoa, this is some potent energy that's happening here. Well, it's the best way to describe Saturn. Sorry, Rio. This whole pocket of energy that we have happening here is just this magical concoction of planets that's really just helping us shed so much. It's like Venus and Mercury retrograde transiting over Saturn and near Saturn, and the North Node is like shaking things loose. And like a bunch of you guys in the chat have said, you know, you're moving through inner child healing, through wounds, things that are coming up. It's like shaking up our, for me, for a couple things came to mind, which is like our coping mechanisms, you know, how we process things, like why things have been done the way they've been done. So it's pretty powerful in my opinion. When I look at the fact that we've got Mercury and the North Node together too, this is really, especially because Mercury's been retrograde, we've been reviewing, reflecting. There's this potency around reviewing our dreams. And that's kind of the thing that's been coming up a whole bunch, especially if you've been in my live streams the past 4 weeks, is like, we've been reviewing, we've been reflecting, we've been looking at things. And this is making me want to dive deeper into just Mercury going direct in general. So I had the opportunity, for those of you who are in my Discord server, you know that I am in a 10-week program that is a deep dive into relationship dynamics and into divine union. And I was in my class on Saturday morning, so yesterday morning, and I loved it. Shanti, she's the gal who's leading the first half with the women, and she broke down the concept of Mercury in a way that absolutely blew my mind. So I'm regurgitating that information for you guys, because it was like, maybe if this is all that I learn from this program, I'm good. I'm complete. Like this is magic for me. And as somebody who is ruled by Mercury within my own natal chart, Mercury, from a traditional level, we view Mercury as our communication, as our voice, as how we learn things. And it's this very mental thing. But what isn't spoken about very much is the fact that Mercury is the only planet that is neutral. So this makes me want to dive into the actual mythology of Mercury, or in Greek mythology, Hermes, right? Hermes is the god that can move between realms, between worlds. So he can travel to the underworld, he can travel up to Mount Olympus, he can go anywhere. That is his gift, is the ability to move through different realms and using the magic of creation, right? For my feminine beings within my chat, not only does Mercury rule the voice, which is also a very masculine energy, because Mercury is basically non-binary. Mercury isn't male, isn't female, isn't positive, isn't negative. It's not masculine, it's not feminine, it just is. And with that being said, is also both. It carries both energetics. And Mercury also rules over the womb of the space of creation, because if we look at the duality, and I'm geeking out over the duality of things, that's kind of been my deep dive lately, is on the other end of the spectrum of communication, of saying, doing, etc., that Mercury rules is the opposite, which is that which is the energetic of the womb. And so some of you guys, I'm going deep into the esoteric conversations here, and deeper dive into womb magic, which is super important, which is dark magic, and dark in the sense that not negative, it's just the opposite of light. It is where everybody comes from. It's this void of anything, the darkness. And there is such magic within this space, in the quietness, in the void, in this space of just reflection. And that's what I truly understood Mercury retrograde is about. It's not about having to create anything. It's not about having to do anything. It's really the just inner feminine of Mercury, of going inwards, of applying, of looking, of excavating, of doing these deeper shedding processes that happen during Mercury retrograde. So super exciting. Mercury has been retrograde for the last 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year, by the way. At this point, we shouldn't be shocked. It's a part of the cycle, because we need to be able to reflect on what we're working on, so we can bring new ideas, so we can integrate, so we can show new things that we've developed. So Mercury retrogrades are super important. And I really, really struggle with astrologers that do the whole fear-mongering thing of oh no, your technology, oh no this, oh no that. So it's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. So Mercury has been going retrograde, and if we clear this, so Mercury was over here in Aries, and this chart's not very defined very well. Mercury would be like hanging out just barely right here if we were to draw here. But Mercury was hanging out in Aries and then retrograded back into Pisces. And so what this is it's literally the concept of just being born and then like going back into, man, my camera's really struggling with like what tone it wants to be, huh? Yikes. We'll see if focusing. It's kind of like mood lighting. It's just evolving and changing. Also, I know some of you guys, I'm probably just like in the background, but if you guys have questions, let me know. Send me your questions. If I'm saying stuff and you're like, what is this girl on about? Just ask. And it's funny because like right before this, I was like, I don't even know if I have it in me to stream. But as soon as I sit down and start talking, it's like, I just can't stop. I can't stop. So this retrograde, Mercury retrograde, has really been this initiation from basically the first, our ego identity essentially is dying. And like how we've communicated from an impulsive space is going back into this deeper intuitive way of communicating. It's almost like reading the room a bit more instead of like saying things out of just quickly saying things. So what's happening at the same time as Mercury going direct is the fact that these two planets, Saturn and Venus, are exactly conjunct. They're close enough right now that this feeling is there, but their exact conjunction, like where they're at the exact same specific degree, is at the time that Mercury goes direct. And let me look at my actual calendar. That happens they'll be direct at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 a.m. EST. And Mercury stations direct at 4:08 a.m. So, pretty cool. No! Oh, I know. Hey TikTok, how's it going, gamers? All right. Let's see. Okay. My jaw is all funky. I'm like waiting for Tasia to come back. Hi TikTok. I am also live on Twitch right now. I'm sharing my screen where you guys can actually see the chart that I'm looking at. So if you want to join me there, you absolutely can. Twitch is a little bit easier to navigate for me. I've been streaming on Twitch since like 2015, which is freaking crazy to think about. Okay. So this all this happening, and it's funny because each week, like the fact that all these planets in Aries, all these planets in Pisces, you can notice they're kind of like they're just shifting around in their respected spaces. Like the sun is already, that's crazy, the sun is already at 18 degrees of Aries. So it's like we're almost like we're more than halfway through Aries season, which is wild to me. Let's go ahead and a couple of other like minor transits that are happening is Yeah, later in the day on the 7th, you'll see, well, it's close enough right now, but oh, that was a really bad line I drew. Here to here. So I spoke about Uranus being conjunct, or not conjunct, sextile Saturn. I posted that on my TikTok and Instagram. Now Venus and Uranus are sextile, which is this sort of exciting energy we have happening here. Uranus is in Taurus, which is essentially this really the energy that comes with Uranus in Taurus. No, you're good. I'm going to pause my little spiel on Uranus and Taurus and tell you again. So Saturn and Venus are conjunct. And Mercury goes direct exactly when they get into perfect conjunction. Like happens like 8 minutes after, which is pretty crazy. Wild. Erase those. Okay. So Saturn and Venus conjunct essentially is this. So the thing that's kind of oh yeah, of course. The thing that's coming up for me with this whole little energetic pocket that's happening here is Saturn is our discipline, is our structures, and then Venus is retrograding over Saturn. And Venus has retrograded over the North Node and now over Saturn. And it's really this deep look because Venus is how we give and receive love. It is how we feel things. It's our pleasure. It is our values. It's our worth. Going over these two with the North Node is essentially where we want to be. It's our dreams, our desires. And Saturn is our structures. And so it's like this deep review of our patterns within love, and also this feeling of it's a reflection thing that's happening here, but it's with the energy of Saturn, which is like, what are these new ways that we can incorporate new structures within this? Like, as you're in the reflection process, as you're processing these things, like what can replace old habits? What can replace old patterns? And with Mercury going direct when this exactly happens, it really gives me this like destined energy of like coming to a very clear and concise like moment of like, it's almost like a direct download of like, oh, this is what needed to shift, or this is what needed to change. So it might happen for some people where it's like you have this like kind of eye-opening moment of like, oh, this is how I've been acting in relationships, or this is how I've been moving through or repeating this dynamic that I've had. Saturn again represents father energy too. So it's like it could directly relate to a relationship with or patterns that you had with your father, or wounds that were stemming from father stuff, which it's wild to actually look at this and break it down in this way, because that came up for me and has been coming up for me. So very, very interesting stuff. It's giving the opportunity to recreate a new structure to house new patterns in love is what it feels like for me. No, I'm glad that you asked for some clarity on that. So the next thing that's happening later in the day on Monday is we have Uranus sextile Venus, and Uranus in Taurus kind of gives this earthquake energy. It's like shaking stuff up in the material realm. And then Venus again is retrograde in Pisces, and so it's like this, there might be some actual things happening in your reality that it's a good thing. Sextiles are good energy, so it's not a negative thing. It's just like you might have some upheaval or things shift in your reality that supports this energy that is happening over here. So it's kind of this supportive, like Okay, sometimes the images that I get in my mind, for those of you who are not familiar with the way that I do astrology, I also get imagery for the energies that come up. And I got like an Etch-a-Sketch. Like, you've drawn a picture and it's like, no, you could just shake that up and start over again. Which is actually really cool in my mind. And oh my gosh, it totally just brought up this concept that my mentors were talking about within their relationship. And it's, if they have like a disagreement or something comes up, they, you know, have a moment of like, hey, I wish I would have done better in that moment. Can I have a do-over? And they rewind back to that moment and redo it. Kind of cool. I don't know, that just, you know, the opportunity to, I don't know, shaking things up or do something over, or, you know, have grace, realistically. All right, so those first two transits are happening on the 7th. And then, let's take a look. Jumping into my calendar again. Yeah, moon goes into Virgo on Tuesday. I don't really talk about moon transits as much. It's just like shift in emotional energy. Some people are more attuned to the moon energy, and I will probably end up doing a specific class on just the moon shifting into different signs and understanding and intuiting the energy of the moon. But those are the like big key players that are happening on Monday. Nothing too major on Tuesday. On Wednesday, nothing major. Thursday, moon moves into Libra. On Friday, nothing major. And then Saturn day, ironic that we have Sun conjuncting Chiron, and then we have the full moon in Libra, and then Venus goes direct. Boom, boom, boom. Like, it's like this crazy thing. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to jump over here, and I'm going to pull up that chart. Why is my camera just struggling? I need to get a ring light, but then I feel like I'll be too official of a streamer, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. So, I don't want to co-host with you, buddy. I don't know you. Get off my TikTok. I'm gonna change my desk light color thing to see if it'll like make it. Oh god, that's horrifying. Purple? Oh my gosh. He just wants to co-host. Decline. Hi, Moto. Welcome. We're talking about astrology. Surprise. Green light? The green actually balances. Nope. Nope. It's struggling with it. We'll do purple. Nope. Blue. Okay. I don't know. Your favorite subject. You're such a liar. Okay. So let me pull up this chart on which, yeah, we want to look at April 12th. And we're going to look at calculate moon. No, we're going to have to do later in the day. Okay. How was your stream? Okay. Oh my gosh, is it that late in the day? Hold on. I'm trying to get the exact chart and I'm just guessing at the times. 11? Oh, it's a late at night. I didn't even look at that. Is it just... Oh my gosh. Sorry, you guys are getting the... Okay. Cool. Delightful. Yeah. Was it actually delightful? Okay. So If you are with me on Twitch, you can see the chart that I am looking at. If you're joining me on TikTok, I would recommend you guys jump over to Twitch so you can see my screen share so you can learn a little bit more. But we're talking about this upcoming Saturday into Sunday. It's like a late at night full moon. Later in the, yeah, it's like, I think, yeah, I don't even know. I think I'm in just like universal time on my calculator thingy. So first thing, there's just like this full moon is something, and I'm excited for you guys to watch my YouTube video on it because I dive a lot deeper into it. I'm not gonna like go into like the nitty gritty of it here, but I'm gonna kind of break down some of the archetypes here. So what we've got going on is, the first thing we'll talk about is the fact that Chiron and the sun are conjunct. Pop quiz, what does conjunction mean? I also feel like I need my eyes. I'm like straining my eyes lately. Oh man, I can see. Nobody's gonna do the pop quiz. So, this totally feels like I love doing this to my high schoolers. I like to yell at them. Not that I'm yelling at you guys. Yes, Shay got it. Yeah, they're at the same degree or close to each other in the same degree. So, yes. So a conjunction is when two or more planets are next to each other within the natal chart or the chart that you're looking at. So it's, some astrologers have a wider range of what that could be. Some will say like, oh, if it's within 5 degrees, it's also a conjunction. We were pointed at, but I'm in the category of like 0 to 3 degrees is a conjunction to me. But we've got Chiron and the sun conjunct in Aries. Ooh, this energy is intense. Does anybody here know what Chiron is, who Chiron is, heard of Chiron? Anybody know Chiron? Maybe. Oh, if you guys, okay, if you've never had so good. Hey, yes, Rio got it. Heard of it, but know nothing. Bugatti Chiron. Is that an actual car? Is that actually a thing? Because I know nothing about cars. That's not my thing. My jaw is really bugging me, which is super fun. Yes, so in Greek mythology, there is this centaur that is named Chiron. And Chiron is known as the wounded healer because in his lore, in his mythology, he gets wounded and he is actually like just a natural healer. He is kind of he's like the shaman for the centaurs. He heals them, helps them, etc. He's the medicine man for that community, for people. And the thing that's ironic about him is the fact that he has a wound that he can't heal. So he essentially just is helping people despite the fact that he himself is hurting. And the way that he heals himself is by helping people who have the same wounds as him. So Chiron within astrology it's an asteroid named after Chiron, the centaur, for the idea of the wounded healer. So everybody has a Chiron placement in their chart, depending where it's at. That is the wound that you carry in this life that you work on healing through helping other people with that same wound. So when we have planets and the asteroids transiting, the fact that we have the sun, which is the brightest thing that we can see here within our little galaxy, our little solar system. So we have the sun and Chiron conjunct from the perspective of Earth. And this is bringing an illumination, because that's what the sun is. It illuminates things, to our wounds. It's like taking a spotlight and putting it on our wounds. And so the wound of Chiron in Aries is our ego, is our identity. So we're really getting a close look at egoic patterns that don't serve us anymore, of where we are so attached to who we are, and we're getting the opportunity to reflect on those things. And when I say reflect, it's because of the fact that we literally have a mirror right here. That mirror is the moon. Because full moons, all they do is just reflect the sunlight. And what's interesting about this full moon is it's in Libra. Libra is the sign of relationships, of partnership, of the other, because Aries is the self, and opposite of the self is the other. So, this full moon is so fun. So we're getting the chance to look ourselves in the mirror of another person. So there is this heightened and illuminated energy that is happening on the 12th into the 13th, like this 12th to the 13th kind of portal here, where with full moons, things happen. If anybody works in the medical field or anything like that, you'll know that full moons, things happen. It's a culmination of energy. It is a climax of energy. It is the peak illumination of the moon. So whether I see some people might be socializing a lot on this full moon, there's always usually gatherings, more busy hospitals, etc. Things are just busier. And so what I'm not going to say like you're going to go to a party and something's going to happen. Like I don't know your like guys' life like that. But there's going to be an opportunity for you to have something reflected back to you that you've either started, like you've worked on healing and moving through, and it's like sort of that reflection of, oh, I remember when I was that. I remember when I used to do those things or had those patterns, and you get it reflected back at you. And you can either, it's like a choose your adventure experience where it's like, do I react to this and follow that old pattern? Or do I show up as this self that I've been developing and working on for the last 18 months and shift the pattern? And I bring up 18 months because of the fact that this full moon is like the assignment. It is the exam that we're getting after these eclipses, because our last new moon was a solar eclipse in Aries, and we've been having eclipses in Aries and Libra for the last 18 months. So this is like putting in the work and the application of the things that you've been working on, of where you have developed who you are and your identity in the world. And that often relates to our relationships too, and how do we relate to others? Like, who am I, and then who am I in relationship? And so the fact that Chiron is here is really actually giving the supportive energy of like, yeah, bringing up the tender spots, of bringing up the parts of you. And okay, I'm going to tie this in now. We've got Mars squaring. Oh, that was not a good square. We've got Mars squaring this energy, which is a 90-degree angle of tension. Now, it's a loose square because Mars is at 27 degrees of Cancer, and these placements are at 23 degrees, so it's loose. So it's kind of this irritation. And what I spoke to on it within my YouTube video, which you guys can watch after this, is it's like this irritation. It's like having the wound, it's like rubbing dirt on the wound. Like you wouldn't know that it was still there unless you had something kind of irritating it. And Mars in Cancer is very emotional and very just a little bit dramatic. I feel that it's bringing in this flavor of extra tenderness, of emotions, of it can be slightly irritating too. Like this full moon it's not going to be fun, I don't feel like, but it is going to be the opportunity to apply lessons that have been kind of coming to a peak here, where it's like, okay, you know, and this is on the axis of self versus relationship. So really fun. And then, but wait, there's more. We're going to get real deep into astrology. The moon is ruled by Cancer. So the moon is ruling this Mars in Cancer. Then we have Venus, and Venus goes direct on this day. And Venus is ruled by Libra. So there's all these like connections happening all over the place. I got a little crazy with it, but the fact that Venus, our planet of relationships, and all this deep diving and deep reflecting that we've been doing since the end of February, it's like, here's the exam. It's like, I totally got the mental imagery of like, you're taking the bar exam, like you've been studying to be a lawyer, right? Lawyers take the bar exam, I think. Like you've been studying and you've been like learning, you've been like journaling, you've been doing the work, you've been looking at like all the things that are coming up and reflecting on them, because Venus, Mercury, retrograde, reflection. And now we've got this full moon that's like, okay, now take the test. Like you've got this, like you have everything you need to actually like move into a new expression. And that's why at the beginning of this week with Monday having Venus and Saturn conjunct, it's kind of like this recognizing of patterns within relationships. And so this is really the opportunity for you to be like, am I going to continue to do these self-sabotaging egoic patterns within self? And Chiron conjunct the sun is kind of like, woe is me. It's like everything bad happens to me. Like I'm always like, I suck, and just like looking for validation outside of you, when truly like you just need to take care of you, you know? So big energy. I dive way deeper into this energy on my YouTube video. And then I go through everybody's rising signs on it. So that's kind of like always your homework. If you don't know your rising sign, get it going. And then just like a quick peek into the future. Yeah. Let me say that I'm still live on TikTok. Cool. Let's see. We have, Mercury, has gone direct and then enters Aries on the 15th, which is exciting. And then Mercury will conjunct Neptune in Aries. Mars enters Leo, thank God, on Thursday. It's been in Cancer for so long. It's like having like, it's like our inner masculine has been like a wet blanket, basically. And then Saturday, yay, guys. The sun enters Taurus. And then April 20th is my birthday. And oh gosh, what is happening on my birthday? Oh, a lot of really, really fun transits. So what's gonna be wild, so obviously I'll go live next Sunday. But the following Sunday I won't be live, which will be my birthday, but maybe I can go live on my phone or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll fill it out. But that's like, that is the fun stuff. That's what is going on. it's quite the... I'm excited because it really feels like a closing of a chapter with this energy. Like, these retrogrades have been brutal. These retrogrades in tandem with the eclipses have been brutal. And I don't know a single individual who's gone through the past like month and a half, like who's gotten through these things like with nothing happening, with no irritations, nothing like that. Like, we've all been just truly like traversing the underworld is what it feels like. So it's exciting. I'm really excited. God, I can't even speak. I'm really excited for the opportunity to actually implement what I've been learning, you know? Thanks for the like, Johnny. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Very sweet of you. Yeah, I don't know what it will look like specifically for all of you guys unless I was looking at your chart specifically. But it's going to be illuminating. That's for sure. It's going to rock the boat a little bit. It's going to really challenge us to step into the identity that we want to truly embody. Yeah, which, I don't know. Again, I feel like I preface this every stream where it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a emotional masochist. I really love doing the work. That's the Virgo rising in me. I'm just like, yes, like hard things to do. Let me do it. So, all right, we're at that point where I've gone through all the transits in a record time, even with all my mishaps, starting this stream. Yeah, no, it's totally like, I can't even help it anymore with it. And it's wild because I'll start channeling messages here on TikTok and suddenly I'm like, oh, this is just the same planetary energy, that the things that are happening. This is just the translation of it. I even listened back to my reading this morning and was like, because I didn't even remember what I said in it, and I would listen back to it and I was like, oh, this is for me too. Yeah, it's this massive integration that's happening. Pretty cool. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. My friends that are in / on TikTok, you guys have any questions for me? I see that some of you guys have been hanging out for a bit, which I appreciate. Always feel free to jump into the Twitch stream too. I know TikTok, I feel like, is easier to navigate. I always end up like scrolling back to my friends' live streams that are happening. Yeah, the last few days have been super interesting for me. I feel that there's been like a massive integration process that's been happening. Like, after I had this massive like shedding for myself of some old emotional like stagnancy, I feel a lot lighter, but it feels very different in my body. So I'm trying to get closer to that, which has been fun. Yeah. Yeah, so this week I'll be able to stream on Sunday, and then the following week I'm going to be traveling to watch my nieces, and I'm very excited for that. Then I'm going to be going to Arizona to visit my grandma. Yeah, it's going to be very cool. Very, very cool. Does anybody else have any birthdays coming up? No stream in 2 weeks. So yeah, on the 20th, which is my birthday, I will not be streaming, but I will be streaming on the 12th, or not the 12th, on the 13th. And then I will be back to stream on the 27th. So it's just my birthday that I won't be streaming. And I think I've made up for it because last year I streamed on my birthday for over like 8 hours. So I think I'm off the hook for this upcoming birthday. Plus it's Easter Sunday. My birthday's Easter Sunday. So everybody's going to be with their families, which is beautiful. I'm going to be on an airplane. I have my newsletter will be hitting your inbox tomorrow morning. So if you have not signed up for my newsletter yet, if you go to this site here, you are able to click that link and go to my little link page, and at the top there it says like enter your email. When you enter your email, you get a free Notion template from me that is a journaling guide / planner / goal setting thing that is related to the planets and astrology. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. What else? What other things am I doing? What other things am I... I'm like... my brain's now malfunctioning. Newsletter comes out on Monday. Live streams on Sundays at 4 p.m. Pacific. And my full moon video is out on YouTube now. So you guys can jump over there and watch that after this if you're not tired of my voice. And I post content pretty frequently. I think so. On TikTok and Instagram. Okay. I'm going to give you guys like 1 more minute as an opportunity to ask me any astrology related questions before I disappear. So now's your time while I sip my electrolytes. Like looking at my calendar now, I'm like, oh yay, thank you, Leo. I'm so glad that they've helped. If I'm actually curious because you're watching on TikTok, how's the format been for you? All feedback's welcome. I feel like I definitely enjoy streaming on Twitch a little bit better because I can actually share my screen and whatnot, and I do have the ability to do it to like dual stream to TikTok, but sometimes it's a little rough on my computer doing that, so I've just been using my phone. But if you haven't joined my Discord community yet, you should. The link is in my bio. We've got a lot of cool people there. A lot of those people are the ones who are joining my Twitch stream. And we're having a book club that we're actually starting this week. We're reading Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I'm excited for it. But I think I'm going to end the stream there. I appreciate those of you on TikTok who have joined me and hung out. It looks like Leo... Leopard... Is it Leo? And I'm reading your name fully now, and I see Leopard Chamber. That's a really cool username, actually. I really like it. Only join if you're cool, though. That's what my Twitch chat is saying. Honestly, I'm going to be shifting the rules around a bit more in the Discord server because I want to really create like a super safe container, and we had that moment we cleared that moment. We're good. I'm like protective mama mode. So we're going to clear things up, etc. So, okay. All right. I'm going to end TikTok stream. Bye. Whoa. Ew, TikTok. Oh, why does it give you like, it's like playing a video game. That's a thing that I don't like about like TikTok live is like, I feel like it's a weird like video game sim that you're in and people are just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like you're, anyways. No, literally never again. That, by the way, since we're all here together, I had to block that person on all my accounts and I didn't block them on my Instagram and they were sending me the weirdest stuff and yeah, blocked them. So that's so much fun. Luckily I have a ton of experience with weird spiritual predators out there in the world, so pretty quick to clock them. Yeah, dude. I was like, bro, get out of here. Bro, just go away. Yippee! Okay. Luckily, I've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences, so I can make sure that my community is safe. Y'all can ask anything about that, and when I say anything, I'm talking about the person in our Discord. He knows all too well. Maybe one day he and I will do a lore drop on our Discord experiences. But okay. That's it. That's all from me. I'm gonna go probably lay on the floor for like 3 hours. All right. See you guys. Bye.